after transitioning myself, it just was so life-changing to me, like the aesthetic aspects of it, going through surgery, working on my skincare, working on Botox, getting some lip filler. Like it had such a life-changing effect on me and my confidence and the way it made me feel. And I worked at Cavendish clinic, grew the business there from 2 clinics to 10 clinics to going into John Lewis. But after that, I was like, okay, let me just get the best of what I've learned and like what I think is missing in aesthetics at the moment, and put that in a really cool concept and focus just on injectables, because I feel like where a lot of clinics go wrong, in my opinion, is they focus on too many things. You become almost specialized in nothing, you know what I mean? And I think, especially from a marketing point of view, that's quite difficult to, I don't want to go from my eyebrows to eyebrow person. Also take the concept out of Harley Street and put it on the high street. There's no need for injectables to be taboo anymore. And yeah, we're actually already maybe looking at 4 locations, so let's see. I always say we are like approachable luxury. We're obviously not the most, and I never want to be the most expensive. I obviously really don't want to be the cheapest one, but we want to be sitting there where it feels like a luxury experience, but it's accessible pricing. This feedback always, people really want to see the people behind the brands. And in the beginning, there were like people that were like, oh, don't focus too much on your injectors because then they're going to leave. And I'm like, no, let's show our injectors. We love our memes as well. They do really well for viral. Sales and front of house are just 2 completely different things. People can be amazing like in clinic, but that doesn't mean that they're actually like salespeople or booking people. At the end of the day, like that's just a major distinction, and I think, yeah, it's just its own specialism almost.
So who are you? Tell us a bit about how you got here.
So I'm Joëlle, I'm the founder of Injectual. So I'm originally Belgian, and I actually started in the fashion industry, my career. And then I hated it, absolutely hated working in fashion.
Because?
Look, most of the caricatures and like the cliches around the fashion industry are really true. But then after transitioning myself, it just was so life-changing to me, like the aesthetic aspects of it, going through surgery, working on my skincare, working on Botox, getting some lip filler. Like it had such a life-changing effect on me and my confidence and the way it made me feel. At the same time, also my sister was studying to be a plastic surgeon. So I was like, okay, let me just explore this industry, see if I like it. And then we can take it from there, because I also always had this, I always said to my sister as well, one day we need to start a company together. So basically, then I also moved to London, and I was like, okay, this is the perfect time to now see if I like this industry. So then I started working at a company called Harley Academy, which is like a big training provider, I think one of the biggest in the world at this point for injectables. And started working there it was a very small team, but started working there to like smart doctors that are actually like that care about their employees, but also are actually intelligent. And both my parents are doctors, my sister's obviously a plastic surgeon, so it literally felt a bit like home to me. Yeah, just worked there in the marketing department as well. I really enjoyed it. It's just so interesting to me how this industry is constantly evolving. Back then, so this is 10 years ago, when I was 12, I'm sure. No, but it's even then there was like Profilo that just came out, and that was exciting. And like now, Profilo is a household name, but there's just constantly things that are evolving and changing and improving. This field, it's so quickly evolving. So it was really fascinating to me, really enjoyed it. After that, I was like, okay, let me just work in a clinic as well, in a proper clinic. And then worked at Cavendish clinic, grew the business there from 2 clinics to 10 clinics to going into John Lewis. So a super interesting, like launch.
Quite a growth journey.
In like 3 or 4 years time, it was like already, like I exploded almost. It was really interesting to join that explosion. Came with some pitfalls, as you can imagine.
I won't ask you to go into those. That's fine.
It was super interesting. I think it was a really good learning experience. Like what I love about aesthetics and just working in clinics as well is also because it's booming. There's also room for a lot of like innovative ideas as well. Like we launched this hydrofacial bar that I came up with in John Lewis, and that was literally like just for hydrofacials, a bar in John Lewis. And I don't know where it was, Bristol or something. But it was like really cool ideas. But after that, I was like, okay, let me just get the best of what I've learned and like what I think is missing in aesthetics at the moment and put that in a really cool concept and focus just on injectables, because I feel like where a lot of clinics go wrong, in my opinion, is they focus on too many things, and the messaging goes, especially in the beginning, goes completely, you know what I mean, dispersed.
We do this, we do that, we do all these.
You become almost specialized in nothing, you know what I mean? And I think, especially from a marketing point of view, that's quite difficult to, you just don't become, I want to go from my eyebrows to eyebrow person. Like,
You want to be famous or something.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So obviously that will always be our bread and butter, our injectables. We've down the line also started venturing out in some other treatments, also carved out our own niche, obviously in gender affirming care, and started offering some extra services there with regards to laser hair removal, electrolysis. My goal with that is also to have that its own location. It's like
Dedicated.
full on concept where people can go for their full journey. So that's something that that's like my passion project that I've been working on the sidelines. And but yeah, so basically with regards to Injectual, I wanted to create a really cool brand, just so a house of injectables, and just create. We also work with memberships with regards to, for instance, like our Botox. So you can get a Netflix-like subscription on your Botox, or you pay also a house subscription on your Botox, where you pay monthly and then you get Botox 3 times a year. And think about the entire journey, not the patient
That you wanted.
I was like, okay, let's do nothing like that. Think about the entire journey. Also take the concept out of Harley Street and put it on the high street. There's no need for injectables to be taboo anymore. It's actually quite interesting. Somebody gave me this analogy of people used to feel very much ashamed about getting their hair colored.
So it's completely mainstream.
It was like something that people would be ashamed about. Gen Z or millennial, was some millennials still, but Gen Z has absolutely no shame about getting injectables. They see it almost like it's going to the hairdresser and showing it off. Look, we always think safety first. This is still a medical procedure, but there's no need for that experience around it to be that medical. You can still have a safe and medical experience, but in a really nice setting where you're offered a gorgeous beverage, where you can sit in a really nice scented room. Afterwards, we also offer everybody LED therapy. Afterwards, we also have a skincare tester bar and a bit of tinted moisturizer and stuff, so people can go back to work like literally nothing happens. And yeah, so we basically created this concept, and 3.5 years ago, so we've got, then a year and a half ago, we opened Shoreditch. That's actually now our most popular location at this point. And then in October, we're going to open Elephant and Castle. That's exciting. And yeah, we're actually already maybe looking at 4th location, so let's see. But look, I think everything needs to feel like the right timing.
Yeah.
But we've also learn a lot of lessons down the line, but I think
You're off to the start. It's going.
exactly. Yeah. I think obviously also just as a boss marketing, I'm obviously heavily involved with all aspects. We learn your lessons as well, and also like if you get a really good bookings and sales team and external bookings, that also helps.
She says with a wink in her eye.
Exactly. I think it's also like indeed almost like building your dream team, right? And I think we're obviously not there yet, but we're getting there. And I think especially we're thinking about like growth and stuff, having the stress of, for instance, bookings and stuff, taking somewhat out of it, not fully.
Yeah.
But it's really comforting, and it already makes me think like expedite growth as well, which is great. So yeah, sorry, that was a really long.
A long introduction. Super helpful. So I think there are a couple of things in there that I'd love to understand more about. I think others would as well. So the first one is, it sounds like there's this, in your head at least, this sort of smashing together of healthcare and hospitality. And these things are, previously it was healthcare equals medical equals Harley Street equals white coats, NHS rooms, etc.
Absolutely.
Now we're talking about aftercare rooms, beverages, which is what you'd expect in a 5-star hotel or a Soho house. So one thing that I think is really interesting, would love to understand more about it, is the vision or the inspiration to say, okay, we're gonna bring these two things together. Because I think there are a lot of people, not necessarily injectables, but I mean, we work with some MSK chiropractic clinics that are thinking about the same thing, which is that they want this care experience to be, well, they want to be an experience, exactly that, not just to sort of come in, get fixed and go. So I think it'd be great to understand more about where that comes from for you. Like, why is that a sort of pillar for the brand? Where does that come from?
To be honest, a little bit like I said, from obviously personal experience.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I had the Harley Street experience, and I was like, there's
got to be a better way.
There's gotta be a better way.
Yeah.
And also just like obviously thinking about, like, I see big things for Injectual, obviously, and I was like thinking, okay, thinking about the future of injectables, you wanted to feel like I always say we're like approachable luxury. We're obviously not the most, and I never want to be the most expensive. I obviously really don't want to be the cheapest one, but we want to be sitting there in that sort of like affordable luxury where that feels like a luxury experience, but it's like somewhat still accessible pricing. We offer payment plans, we have a Klarna, ClearPay. We want to make it as accessible for everyone. But yeah, I just was thinking of like, how do we make this actually like a global brand? And to me, that felt like the way the industry was going.
Someone's going to take the space. Someone's going to take the space.
You know what I mean? It just almost felt like just a natural, to me, just like where the industry was going and how I would want my injectable experience to be.
Makes sense. So it sounds like some of that is what you're seeing in the world, and then also the personal journey. Hey, this doesn't work for me. It definitely doesn't work for other people. It makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
You use the word experience and patient experience. And obviously, when we think about patient experience, it almost starts at the marketing level, right? How do people initially experience the brand? And then they get brought down the journey, they get the nurture, they get the consultation. When you think about patient journey start to finish, let's say I'm interested in coming, what should I expect as a patient as it relates to the journey with Injectual? What is my 2-minute version of start to finish? What do I expect?
As in from the marketing funnel.
First time I discover Injectual, so let's say I'm going online, I'm looking, I think I want to do this thing, I'm not sure. So I'm going to see and feel your brand at the content level. What do I see and feel? And then talk me through how we get to the end of that journey.
Obviously, organically, I would say obviously we try to really grow our social media presence, really show some personality there. But it's also like a lot of trial and error. But I really feel, and I got this feedback always, people really want to see the people behind the brands. And in the beginning, there were like people that were like, oh, don't focus too much on your injectors because they're going to leave. And I'm like, no, let's show our injectors. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, we create a really lovely environment for them. We give them a really nice percentage of commission and just make it really easy for them. So we just show a lot of our injectors. We show a lot of our behind the scenes. I try to get involved as much as possible as well, because I think people also really like to see like the founder and stuff. And just literally like the team, that mix obviously with before and afters, with proper education. But we love our memes as well. They do really well for virality. And then obviously with regards to ads, user-generated content obviously works really well. We do obviously work with our influencers. But again, I literally tell my influencers, I'm like, create something different. Like, just don't think of any other companies that you're doing, just do you, and just create something unique. If that's a meme or whatever, just
let it
go
be
crazy.
Authentic. And that's the brand.
Exactly. I think that always works really well. Sometimes also not, but that's fine. Maybe you win some, you lose some, but then the wins are really good wins. And then obviously the videos that do really well organically, that's the ones that we then push for our ads. And that's obviously the journey. Then when people see those ads, they might then be retargeted by another ad. And then obviously they land on our website, landing page, then we contact them. You guys contact them and then they get booked in.
Got it.
Here we go.
So it feels, especially as a customer,
Yeah.
there are a lot of places I can go to do this.
Yeah.
But not all of them are going to give me the authenticity.
Yeah.
Not all of them are going to be the warmth, the empathy, the sense of the people behind the story.
Yeah.
And so maybe those are the things that pull me in.
Yeah.
And they speak to me because it's not just a website. It's a narrative. In some ways, it's almost a movement. It's a club. It's a Soho House sort of vibe that pulls me into it. And then I have this booking experience, I come in. Does anything change for you when the patient is physically there or physically not there? Do you think about the patient journey as when they're with me and when they're not with me? Do you think about it as all one joined up thing? What should clinic owners in general, based on your experience, how should they be thinking about the difference or lack of difference between a patient being physically with you and with you but not physically there?
How do you mean? Sorry.
So if I'm a patient, I'm going on a, let's say I'm doing 4 months of treatment with you, 3 months of treatment with you. Obviously when I'm there, you're looking after me. I'm physically there.
Yeah.
When I go home, am I still being looked after by the clinic team? Am I still part of the Injectual family while I'm not physically there? How do you think about that?
Yeah, look, obviously that's something that to be completely transparent, that's something that I think we can definitely still improve.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You do, like Coherence obviously does a recall and stuff like that. But I think with regards to proper aftercare, that's something like we obviously send them a thank you email. We're obviously always available for all of their questions and stuff. But I think aftercare is just something that I think we still need to improve, to be completely honest. Because I really want to get into a habit where we 2 days after give them a call, like a proper follow-up process. But yeah, look, we obviously also, hopefully most people follow us. We also obviously have like newsletters, like weekly newsletters.
So they're hearing from you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, we really try to obviously not annoy them. You know, we keep them in the loop, any new injectors, any new treatments, any sort of. We just want to get in there. We are in the habit now of doing weekly newsletters, and we have, for instance, like a Glow Code magazine now as well, but that's more like in clinic.
If you had to, you've been doing this now for a couple of years.
Yeah.
You said you've learned stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. Good stuff, bad stuff that works. If you had to go back to day one.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable to share, what is the sort of the biggest, wow, we really shouldn't have done that. What was the sort of the one thing where you said, I wish I could?
I mean, for us, to be completely honest, it was our builder.
Okay. Always is.
Don't go too cheap and don't go you need to ask questions.
Okay.
Ask the questions like certificates, like all of these things. Who's your team? You wanna ask the questions. We were just ill-advised. Somebody had recommended someone and just went with them and it all sounded amazing.
Until
absolutely was not. Look, you live and you learn, and we've made a lot of mistakes there, but they've now been mostly corrected after 3.5 years. For a second location, we then found an amazing builder who's just like an angel, and he's now obviously doing Clinic 3 as well. You obviously built your dream team, but I think that's not number one. And then secondly, what else? Also, actually, and this is quite relevant, like actually doing bookings and sales is a different thing than front of house. You know what I mean?
Go on.
Yeah. No, but
say more things.
Look, I think that is obviously, and very early on, we realized that obviously that I think maybe for one clinic, that's fine. Like your clinic manager, your front of house that really knows you can do your bookings and your inquiries and stuff because they're not that big, not that massive. And look, we get around, I don't know the numbers, but I don't know, between 20 to 50 inquiries a day or something. You know what I mean?
Sometimes more, 60,
Sometimes
70.
more, yeah. You just need somebody that is able to, that's their only job, basically, you know what I mean? Or you just need a proper system in place for that, because otherwise your front of house is just, they're just obviously, that's not their job at the end of the day. So I think that's obviously down, that's just very quickly something that we learned as well. But we did figure that out. I think after a year we got a proper booking person. But look, that person or agency or whatever you're getting is just, it's like essential, right? Because I always say that's a beating heart. Inquiries and those people, that's a beating heart. Because without them, it's, there's just obviously no one coming in. You can have a great clinic and a great clinic team, but without people in the door, that's an issue.
So if you don't mind, because we work together, and I know that we've been on a bit of a journey together in the short time that we've worked together. And previously you had done a lot of, it was all of the booking interviews done in-house, and now we're pulling away pieces of that and doing it as a partner to you. From a clinic owner perspective, how has that been? How has that felt? What have been the differences? What's changed? What hasn't changed? Just that decision is a high trust decision, right? You're letting your heartbeat. You're basically saying, here's my heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's a huge risk, right? It's a big thing. So what's been going through your head when we started that journey, and how has that evolved?
Yeah, exactly. Look, in the beginning, I'm pretty sure it was really annoying, but it's just, like you said, it is the beating heart. Like I am very much involved in, so my sister's like the medical side, I'm business and marketing. So I am very much, I've put the systems in place. You know what I mean? So I know what works. I've also know how we've been able to grow a great clinic until now. So it's just obviously giving that over one by one. In the beginning, it comes with some
teething
issues.
pains. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Also, there's obviously a lot of aspects to our clinic because there's then certain people don't do those treatments. There's only one person doing electrolysis, or there's also the gender affirming aspect. So there's just a lot of different aspects. It just takes a little of fine tuning. Plus, then also it's like we had our system in place. You guys had your internal system, so obviously then to switch that completely from the get-go to your system, that was a bit too scary.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
I think we got a good month first of keeping our system in place. But then obviously, look, I think proof is in the pudding, right? So I think very quickly, you guys did more bookings than the previous in-house booking person and stuff. So it was obviously, yes, okay, this is working. Plus, and indeed, the recall system, which really seems to work incredible. It's just obviously trial and error, plus also like seeing the proof. That gives obviously confidence. Plus, you guys are really responsive. Really lovely team. Shout out to Tandy and
That's good.
they're really lovely with my crazy demands. No. I'm sure, yeah. But yeah, I'm a happy chicken now, so there we go.
As we've been told, which is good. No, that is very, thank you for saying that. So I think now you're thinking about growth.
Yeah.
Number 3, number 4, number 5 in New York,
Yeah.
number 6 in LA, number 7 in Miami. Here we come. So it's all good. When you think forward about what needs to change in the business, there's obviously the medical side, as you said, which your sister is looking after mainly. From a business perspective, going from 1 to 2 is a huge change.
Yeah,
going from 2 to 3, another change. 3 to 4 for multi-country, multi-city, multi-time zone.
Sure.
What keeps you up at night? What do you think, okay, we need to, I'm not sure that's ready for scale. Where do you feel like the pressure points are, the things that really need to get tightened up before you make those jumps?
Operationally, like operational things. And it's also just for like our systems, for instance, we got great memberships, but the way those are currently set up, I think we just really need to fine tune those. That entire process just needs to be seamless, which is something we're working on at the moment, but it's like finding the right system, because obviously we're working with a system, for instance, like Zenotti. They all come with some fine tuning and also limitation. And it's okay, are we getting that system? Are we getting a different system for our memberships? So all of that, that really keeps me up at night a little bit. Plus inventory, like things like inventory tracking.
Yeah, you've mentioned things sometimes.
They grow legs. I don't know if that's an internal problem or like external problem. It's a problem. And that's, for instance, that some HR bits and bobs. Those things keep me up at night. But yeah, I would say, like inventory, like general operational, the plumbing.
The business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The business.
Because you see, obviously, that's fine that we have 2 clinics. That might still be fine we have 3 clinics. But if you've got a full-on network, that just needs to be sorted out.
Really tightened.
Exactly. And we've got, you know what, I think we've got really kind and really lovely patients. I do have to say in general, and also just practitioners. But yeah, it's just obviously the more you grow, the more of that sort of personal aspect you'll obviously sadly lose. So I think in order to, I don't ever want to be like, I don't think I ever want like hundreds of clinics, but the more we grow, that all needs to be fine-tuned, obviously.
It's so interesting because I think a lot of the clinic owners that we speak with, they go into clinic leadership because they feel passionate, much like you did, they feel passionately about the healthcare. And then they realize 6 months in, 12 months in, when they start opening their second site, oh shit, this is a business. And it's also healthcare, but it's a business. And I think we work with some what I will call entrepreneur
Yeah.
clinic leaders like yourself,
Yeah.
who I think in some ways probably get excited about that. This is about, now we're in the growth, we're in the, that's the sort of business momentum. We also have a lot of clinic leaders that hit that ceiling where they're in a single site, maybe they're in a single main site with a satellite site, and they can't quite press the go on the third, the fourth, the growth, whatever it is. What advice do you have for them when you're sitting at that, things are working, diary's busy, but we're not really, how did you clear that threshold?
To be completely honest, like sometimes I also feel like you also just solve the issue almost like by like sometimes whether we were ready or not, just like obviously getting that new site in, you also then, because I have to focus on that third location, then I have to just hire somebody else, like an extra person in or something, to then take care of other business. And just like you almost obviously, while you're growing, obviously also just need to facilitate somebody below you to fill up gaps so you can also then focus on growth, because you just can't be everywhere, right? You just, and I think I don't think I'm a control freak per se, but I obviously like to keep my hands on everything, but you just sometimes have to, and then obviously correct them. That's that, and without that, you'll never grow. You never, or they will never learn, right? So you just obviously gotta find almost like the dream team, right? And look, you sometimes, just sometimes it doesn't work out, right? It's just the nature of how things are sometimes, or sometimes people are right for a period, but then they don't. Yeah, I think it's just obviously a lot of it has to do with HR, right? Let's be real. I think as a CEO or a founder, I think 50% of your time is probably around HR or HR.
You didn't know you were going to be an HR manager.
No, I
That's unexpected.
I sadly did not. But yeah, that's now what it is. So here we are. And you learn a lot, right? By having your own business and how people operate, how people are. But yeah, look, I'm definitely not faultless, and that's definitely something that I really want to improve upon, because I am a people pleaser. So I am like always like just, it's not in my nature to be like super, super strict, but if it has to happen, it has to happen. Yeah.
Last question for you. If we sit down together in 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, however many years within
In New York.
Of course, in New York. So we're sitting down in New York. It's 2020, we're in 2029. We're sitting down in New York.
Jesus. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you,
Yeah.
so how's it going?
Yeah.
What is going to be the Injectual story in 2029?
So I really want to be international by then. I'd love to be international by then, and indeed spend my time 6 months there growing something. And that's what I would feel really, that's what I'm really looking forward to now. You know what I mean? I'm not obviously not tired of London because I love London, but I'm really eager to start exploring something international, because I think it will come with so many challenges, but I find that so exciting as well. Plus, I mean, we obviously need everything in place here for that to almost like run autonomously, which we're getting there. But it's exciting as well, right? Like it's just like growing like that. But yeah, I think that's what I'm picturing. I think at least I would hope to have double the size. Then at least 1 or 2 international would be great, whether that's the US indeed or more in Europe, TBD. But hopefully that to be honest, that they are all have really good injectors in place, that they were not losing, they were making money, that's fine, but like also just
No, the secret sauce.
The money would be nice, but I think it's mostly you need like they were not losing that sort of special the quality, the sort of all these things, but indeed that there's operationally as well that feels like a really good. I'm almost picturing like the Soul House, obviously, but I think for instance Face Gym has done a really good job as like business wise, because they've still, I think they haven't exploded in locations. They've got a really good sort of like organic growth. Everything still feels like it's managed like a nice company. So that's like where I'm trying to.
Doesn't lose the DNA. Grows. Still feels like.
Yeah, exactly.
Feels like one site, but
exactly.
It's in 10. It's in 8, whatever it is.
So I mean, international and all of these things. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping. And for Transect to be its own location, in maybe even in 2 locations, you never know, but that is like its own location where people can come for the entire journey. So once Transectual to make any money, any profits can go directly back into Transectual. Percentage of profit from Injectual will go into Transectual. I want that to be as affordable as possible. We will have a fund attached to it where people can apply and get their treatments for free or even like heavily discounted. That's like my passion project, and I think what's really missing in the markets at the moment that I will do. We've got everything in place now. To also like for me to have some capacity to focus on that as well. So I really want to start focusing on that as well. But yeah, that's what I'm picturing. So, yeah.
That would be incredible
Yeah.
to have that kind of facility dedicated
Yeah.
in service. That would be an amazing thing.
Yeah. No, I think so too. Where people get a full journey.
Yeah, one place, one partner, one
For sure.
guidance through, and that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And how healthcare should be is really.
Well, exactly.
So you mentioned before that when you were starting out, front of house was able to multitask across doing the welcome service and support for patients in clinic, but the patient volume wasn't such that you needed extra hands on desk. Then you start to grow. That inquiry pressure, new interest, new inbound needed a different kind of focus, system, capability. Can you talk about the before and after? What was it like when you didn't have that booking specialism and then you did?
As in from you guys to
Both.
Okay.
Either.
So I look at the end of the day, sales and front of house are just 2 completely different things. People can be amazing like in clinic, but that doesn't mean that they're actually like salespeople or booking people. At the end of the day, like that's just a major distinction. And I think, it's just its own specialism almost. We also then, for instance, had a front of house person that then became a booking person. We obviously try to train them up a little bit, but it's like still until that's your sort of like full specialism, it just is really hard. Plus, I think indeed with working with Coherent, it's really good to test out different avenues. For instance, where do you connect best with people? Because it is true, like especially we focus a lot on phone calls because obviously like the moment you get somebody on the phone, it's really easy to then book somebody on the phone. But myself, I hate phone calls.
Me too.
I obviously understand that if there are other avenues, let's explore them and see. And I think indeed, like for instance, at the end of the day, we're the WhatsApp generation, right? It's like everything just seems to be happening on WhatsApp. So just literally just like testing out rather than just also prescriptive systems. I think that is obviously a big difference from having somebody internally that just hasn't like
They're just doing the thing they're told.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just this sort of all day every day and following a really like rigid system without any sort of try this, could we try that, could we see this actually improves conversions by X percentage. Completely different. You know what I mean? It's just apples and oranges. It's even apples and I don't know, tomatoes or something. Like front of house, like if they're doing it and you have a busy clinic, that is a lot. Bookings and then front of house and somebody walks in and a phone call and that's just a customer service query. You have to go numb somebody up, get somebody from the LED room. And there's a million things happening. Don't never underestimate the work of a good front of house. You know what I mean? And also just, I think front of house, their main thing is just dealing with patients in clinic. And also like, for instance, you always have some disgruntled patients and people running late and all these things. I think that's like their main priority. Whereas somebody like a bookings team is obviously, they're just trying to fill in diaries and also, just an entire specialism on its own. I couldn't do either one of them. I could.
That's not your job. You do HR. That's
exactly. My team always laughs at it because like when I dance, sometimes even now, I sometimes go in clinic and then I have them covering like a random lunch or somebody taking a cigarette break, like picking up a phone call. And I'm like, I'm so bad at it. So and then I have to like book somebody in and I'm getting nervous and I'm like, it's just, I have a lot of respect for either one of them.
Let's say you want to introduce Coherent to a friend of yours who's opening up a clinic.
Yeah.
How would you describe Coherent?
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay.
How would you describe? How would you sing their praises of coherent.
Or just say what it is. I'm quite
Yeah.
like, we're just like on a, here's the vanilla ice cream. Like, what's the...
If you want to be a happy chicken. No, okay. Obviously, look, I think, so I literally say what it is as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, both. Whatever you want.
Obviously, they'll take over your bookings. So the booking.
That's what's on the
it's like
package.
an external booking agency, but that feels like an internal booking agency.
Okay.
And plus, there is a lot of taking the headache of bookings out of your hands. Plus, also, I really like how your team seems to be really passionate about just like improving booking rates and like all these things. It feels really personal. And also just that you guys care. You obviously really care because it's your business. But like also, look, I think, and obviously the more you grow, it will be less than that. But you are obviously heavily involved. And nobody will do it as good as you, no offense. But it just, that's the way it is. Like I see that with my business as well. Like the moment sometimes I'm not involved, I'm like, okay, this is taking a lot longer than it should be. But it's obviously that's really reassuring to me sometimes. And also, you know your business really well and you have to get things done. But equally, the team are great. Honestly, like not a single bad word to say. So yeah, just know really good working together, I think. And regular catch-ups and stuff is really good. Also, the sort of reporting and the sort of like showing what we saved plus what we could save if we improve this. Like this, I don't know, often you would do them.
Quarterly, yeah.
It's helpful to see because it also like then changes my vision. I'm like, okay, actually, we need to then, you know what I mean, shift the vision there a little bit as well. Like now also with regards to, for instance, like aftercare and stuff, I think it's like should be a really big focus also because you can see the numbers. Like for instance, there is a percentage of people that just don't come back that we just obviously, because for every new person coming to the door, you're spending a lot of money.
A lot.
If they are obviously not coming back, that's a major loss. So yeah.
I remember running clinic.
Yeah.
It was the same. It's like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
They know they need to come back. They did a thing, only halfway through, and then we'd reach out to them when we had time to reach out to them.
Exactly.
And they'd say, oh yeah, I got sick. I went on holiday. My thing, I just perfect timing. It's not even just a Tuesday. Why is it perfect timing?
Exactly. By the way, can I ask? I don't know if this is on or off camera, but basically, with regards to that's NAMA, right?
Yeah.
Because was that the one location or multiple?
London, New York.
London, New York. Just 2 locations. Okay, amazing. What was like the biggest lesson there, like for you? How much time you had?
Yeah, exactly. The first one is don't open during COVID.
Smart.
You'd think, but
Yeah.
we decided to do it anyway.
Smart.
One of the big differences was that we built the medical hardware. So we built our own lasers. So I spent
Built your own laser.
Yeah, so I spent 7 years in that business. Long before there was NAMA, there was a business called LightSense. LightSense is a medical device business. We built the laser for 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
Then we brought that laser into a clinic environment.
Yeah.
That laser does not look like the laser that you think that rolls around.
No.
This is
Industrial.
we had to pull the entire shop front out, cut the stairs out of the clinic, descend it using something called a spider crane, which I didn't even know existed, and then gradually move it on pallet stackers into the room.
I would be scared to get that.
make
laser.
sure
That sounds like something like obliterate people. Okay.
We grossly underestimated. So when you said builder, I laughed because we were very fortunate to work with a very good builder.
Okay.
But that was not
Okay.
an obvious thing,
Yeah.
which is specific to us. That was one we
Yeah.
The second biggest issue that we had, and the thing that kept me up most nights, which is I think very much
Yeah.
the motivation for Coherent, was there is no revenue ownership in the clinic.
Okay.
That role doesn't exist in the clinic.
Okay.
When I say revenue ownership, what I mean is everyone's focused on marketing,
Yeah.
everyone's focused on service in the clinic. What the hell is happening everywhere else?
Okay.
The lead inquiries, the recalls, the follow-ups, the cancellations.
Okay.
And there's this like really terrifying meme of like a robot scooping up its own blood
Yeah.
and like pouring it back into itself, and then it leaks out, and it's just like sitting there like endlessly trying to keep itself alive.
Yeah.
And it's like really, don't look at it. But it's this idea that you spend all this time just trying to stay alive,
Yeah.
whereas if if you start to patch those holes,
Yeah.
suddenly the thing really comes alive.
For sure.
But it's
Yeah.
so hard to do that because the tech
Yeah.
doesn't exist. It's not a booking. What do you use Zanotti? It's not a Zanotti problem.
Okay.
The only problem is like a calendar.
Okay. Yeah.
Helpful,
Yeah.
but you can't run your revenue function.
No, of course.
And so we spent so much time
Yeah.
trying to twist, contort this system, connect to that system. We used Active Campaign first, then we went to Pipe Drive. It was the same
Okay.
problem, difference.
Yeah.
These tools are just not built
No.
for the use case. And I think if we had to go back and do it all again, I would fix that problem first.
Okay.
That was our sort of.
Yeah.
Then you said HR. We had our own series of
Yeah.
HR related
Does
pubs.
it still exist?
Yeah, it's in. I'm looking where we are, but
Yeah.
it's about 5 minutes walking
Okay.
to Great Portland Street,
Okay,
and then
interesting.
in the West Village in New York.
And they still use your laser.
Only.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
still
Yeah.
there. Yeah, still there,
Okay.
still going.
Yeah.
Opening.
Because you now have pico lasers instead of to laser hair removal now.
They don't do laser hair removal there.
Oh, what do they do?
Only tattoo removal.
Oh, tattoo removal. Oh, yeah, tattoo removal.
Full
So
stop.
pico does that.
They also, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
like different, same but different,
fine.
that sort of
Okay,
thing.
okay, okay.
But when you're getting ready to go to New York, let me know because
Okay.
we've lived that pain firsthand,
Cool.
and there were a few things that
Yeah, no, I'd love
we
it.
would do differently.
Yeah,
if we were
yeah,
looking
no,
at it.
I'm sure. Because, yeah, I don't think I need to underestimate that part. I think
I think that the customer expectation,
it's much higher. Oh, really?
yeah, completely different, much more. I guess it's the DNA of the city, but it's much more competitive in a like very aggressive market. We have a lot of big spending, a lot of capital, a lot of institutionally backed
Yeah.
injectors, celebrity
For sure.
doctors. Is a much more mature market. But also, I think the customer expectation, it's not unlike what you're trying to build here, but
Yeah.
they want.
It's 5-star. No, exactly.
So it's hard. You have to really have your.
Yeah.
I said like the guts need to be really clean
Sides, yeah.
to feel that sort of
I can imagine. Yeah, cleaning the guts, that is all.
slowly scrubbing away with the 3 sides here, 4 sides here. Something must be working. Like the machine is working.
Yeah.
That's better than most.
Yeah. No, I think it's working, but we gotta clean it up now. So, but it's good. We just think it's also almost going section by section like that, where we're cleaning everything
What
up.
kind of fat can I take out of this thing? And this thing.
It's like in that bleeding low robot, with just like
Exactly.
little plasters everywhere.
Exactly,
That
exactly.
it actually holds.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah. But see, it seems like you have a good team. And the new person who joined with a T, she seems to be.
it's a new person with a thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to say her name on camera, but she seems great. Like really.
Lovely. No, honestly, we've got a really solid team in place.
Yeah, it makes the difference.
But look, with anything I say, I always am like touching wood because no, but it's you know that as well. Like the most tomorrow something again, you know what I mean? And not just HR wise, it just another thing will go wrong.
What tornado is going to come through my house this morning to pick up all my
Yeah, I'm
things?
already better with it, and like obviously the more your team grows and stuff, there's like people to also handle tornadoes and stuff. Like sometimes you can still be fully,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go. Of course, this happens. You know what I mean? I'm like,
It's the 1 a.m. wake up where you're.
yeah.
What have I forgotten?
No, exactly, for sure. And I think I don't know about you, but you get better at dealing with it, but it's like still your baby. There's still sleepless nights, less and less, but like still very much sleepless nights. And I know opening a third location will come with some sleepless nights.
Oh, yeah, that's like definitely.
But yeah, look, so it's also I do actually really love it, and I can't imagine myself doing anything else. And that problem solving and finding solutions for everything is actually, it's also really fun. You know what I mean?
Huge energy.
So,